It's Binder.
Good morning, everyone. I'm live with Gary Binder, and who's a senior leader at the Churchill Group, and that's one of the UK's largest facility management companies and the largest employee ownership trust in FM in the UK. That's something that really impresses me. He brings decades of experience, and I'm really excited to have him in the chair, figuratively on my sofa this morning. Gary, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm not so keen on the decades, but there you go. That's life. But thank you for the introduction.
I think the grey hairs would indicate that, Gary. You and I both.
Oh, they're highlights. They're highlights.
Oh, sorry. What was...
Or low lights.
Gary, I'm going to kick straight into it because it's 9 o'clock on a Friday and we've all got places to be, I'm sure, and the sun is shining.
It certainly is.
How did you get into cleaning or facilities management? Tell us a bit about your journey.
Yeah, sure. So my background came, and most people fall into FM in many different ways, and mine was in the same way that I fell into recruitment. So my background started within recruitment. So majority of my career predominantly in the FM sector of recruitment, so helped out and supported and watched people's careers develop through different roles over the years. So helping more locally and internationally, from lower management to senior management. So and that sort of gauged my interest within FM. Back in the day, I studied within building management. So I always had an interest within buildings and structures and so on. But then moving into recruitment and the FM sector really did engage me. Part of that, I then sort of joined the IWFM or BIFM as it was at the time and became part of the London committee and just involved myself more within the FM sector as a whole. And it got to a stage where I'd comfortably done what I wanted to do within recruitment, but felt there was an opportunity for me to sort of develop and still keen to get involved. So I ended up recruiting myself for one of my clients. So started off supporting a client that wanted to set up a new cleaning division in the UK. They were an Australian company. And basically with a blank piece of paper went out there and started and built a new company. So that went well. We had a few challenging times through COVID, as I'm sure you can imagine. It was a whole new world for us all. Well, I'm not going to harp on that too much, but so I built it and developed it to a stage that I was happy. Didn't want to see my future that way. And during conversations and through from long-term network connections, found the opportunity that I'm in at the moment. So yeah, it's been an exciting journey, a different journey but one that sort of all revolves around what I've done previously lined into what I do now.
So in a nutshell, tell us what the Churchill Group do, and tell us your job title and what that actually means for them.
Okay, I'll start with the job title. So the job title is National Relationship Director. So our role is very much that conduit between the client and our operational teams. So we've got great operational teams that go out there and do a fantastic job and support the clients. And obviously, in many ways, that relationship between the local client and the central client is one where we need to support. So my role is to ensure that we're engaging on a regular basis with our clients at a strategic level, making sure that and supporting our operational teams locally. But with national contracts, the main scope is always that they want that level of consistency and the structure, the data across that. And that's what we provide them. And then looking further ahead into that sort of ESG world, what can we do? How can we support them? And how can we align our values to each other to make sure that both client and ourselves are working in the correct way and the way that we want to? So Churchill as a company is a group of companies. So Churchill Group is the overall name, and people think of Churchill as this big facilities company, but we're a group of specialists. So I kind of sit within predominantly the contract cleaning side, so Churchill Cleaning. So I think there's a little bit of a misconception around that we are these specialists. So we have these different divisions around, from cleaning, security, front of house, environmental, to mention but a few. So it's very people driven, and obviously you've mentioned the EOT. We are an EOT, which was Employment Management Trust.
Yeah. Okay.
So the company was born from two guys in St Albans, where and they have driven this company, and the ethos of the company is putting people first. And the whole concept about supporting and developing people has always been the concept. And what better way to sort of live by that sword is by then actually giving the company back to the people. I'm sure they had many opportunity for companies to acquire us over the years, but rather than going down that stream, they've given the company back to the people. So we are all part owners of this business, which is a great testimony to putting people first.
I mean, this really intrigues me. It's one of my pipe dreams for Just Helpers that at some point we could get to be an employee-owned establishment. For you as a co-owner of Churchill Services, what does that mean to you as an employee?
I think there's a level of security and a level of we are part of the bigger picture, and I think that security in that, obviously, the world we're in now, there's lots of acquisitions that are going on, and it seems every 5 minutes one company's acquiring another or merging with another. And I'm not saying that will never happen, but it makes it a different entity because we are part of the ownership of the company. And so it gives us that sort of satisfaction. And then knowing that all that we do for ourselves as well. So we are part of that future. We are every decision that's made, every part of it. We've still got the senior management team that we trust in their leadership and their development of the business. And the future still looks very strong and very bright, and we've got the right people in the right places. We, as a business, it's just nice knowing that what we then do, and for us to go out there, we'll be the ones that reap the rewards of that as well.
That's amazing.
For our colleagues, our frontline colleagues as well, will benefit from it. So it's not just the shareholders at the top of the tree. It is every person, with 16,000 people around the UK will be involved and will receive that reward. So it's exciting times.
It really is. And for a lot of business owners, the whole concept of kind of devolving their shares or chunking up their company can feel quite scary or counterintuitive. You know, we're grafting it as a business owner and sacrificing so that we reap the rewards. And I know in conversation, a lot of people have just said, well, what happens if they leave with my shares or our shares? Can you speak into that at all?
I mean, at the end of the day, they stay within the company. So if you did leave, they're part of the company. So it is a reward while you are an employee of the company or an owner of the company. And I understand the sentiment with regards to, obviously, I've helped set up businesses and been leading of new businesses, and you wear many different hats, and you do many different jobs that you never intended to do, because if you just have to roll your sleeves up and get out there, and that pressure, and I've seen people that have done that and held it all close to them, and they are within their ivory tower, and if they've taken their reward, they've taken it selfishly, because if they haven't done it on their own and they've not rewarded those that have. So from that, and I'm a great team building believer, is that you can build a company, but you can't do it on your own. And you should really reward those that have supported you. And it's not just that top suite, it is everyone. So I don't believe that there is, and I know far smaller organisations where they've only got a dozen or half a dozen people that have gone into an EOT mould because of all they're doing is investing in the people. And if you're, in my eyes, a true leader or a true manager, it is all about the people around you.
Absolutely. I'm completely aligned with that. What would you say, so just moving on a little, what would you say are some of the key operational or cultural shifts that a smaller cleaning company might need to make or be thinking about if they wanted to move into an FM space? So someone like us, we're 85% domestic, 15% commercial, got our wheelhouse, we operate in London, but now we're thinking about the FM space. So, I mean, first of all, what is FM and how do we shift into that?
Having been in FM for many decades, as you so nicely put it earlier, I think that what is FM has always been the holy grail of what understanding of what it is within the business. FM is anything that people want it to be, and so in my eyes, I always look at making the company better than what it was, and not the building or not the people, but the company as a whole. So you're there to support, you're there to develop, and doing it in different ways. So as I said, we are specialists, and I don't think that if that's the field that you're in, that you should try and alter what you do, because if that is your unique selling point, that you are and you have the understanding of what it is that you do. So develop and grow, and growth will happen because of the specialism that you have, and being true to your word, and do not try to be something that you're not, because of that is where lots of companies I've seen over the years have gone out, and especially on the sort of TFM side, where they've gone and tried total facilities management profile, where they're great in one area, it's in cleaning or security, or in other guises in engineering, but they are weaker in other areas, and it's that other areas that sort of tend to let them down. So from our side as a business, we're proud of our specialisms, and we're quite clear, and we have walked away from opportunities where they've asked us to either take on more than what we're capable of, and we've like, no, because that will weaken our brand, and that's probably the most important thing. You don't want to weaken your brand at all.
So in your FM suite of specialisms, what would you say Churchill Group offer?
A close relationship with the client, where we work in partnership. We're great believers in working closely together to ensure that the goals are achieved. It's the way forward, the way to make a business happen is making sure that you've got those common goals and same beliefs in what you're looking to achieve. So that level of communication and support is critical to make that happen.
And what services do you offer?
So obviously the core element is cleaning. So I'd say sort of 75% of the business is the cleaning side, but we have a very strong security division across a wide spread of client base. We offer a front of house service, so our guest services development team, environmental teams of water treatment as well. So yeah, and we've got a tech side as well that's developing nicely at the moment.
Nice. So what I've heard from you is FM can be whatever you want it to be. Develop your specialisms, be true to those, potentially collaborate with other specialists, and maybe form a conglomerate of services together, but don't be what you're not. Don't offer something that you're not.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking of yesterday, I did a sales visit and a quote for a commercial kitchen. We knew we could do the cleaning, but they wanted us to look at their ducts and air vents. And I just very confidently said that that's not us.
Yeah.
But I know someone who can. So it's knowing where your boundary lines stop, or getting training to really develop into the next thing that people are asking of you commonly.
It's that honest approach, isn't it? You've had that honest conversation now, but you've come up with a solution as well at the same time. So it's not saying that no, definitely, but what you're saying is we don't, but we can get support if needed. And so that's the partnership, isn't it?
I hope so. So yeah, and I hope that it gives confidence and agency to people listening to this, if they're thinking of scaling into that, to go with caution, go with professionalism, and that all of that's fine. Good morning, Kathy. You've got someone watching from Stockton-on-Tees. Thanks for joining us. And if you've got any questions as we go along, please just pop them in the comments. So Gary, I met you at the Make London a Living Wage City. I always find that a mouthful to say campaign.
Yes,
Initiative. And one of the things that I really admire about you is that justice, social justice, and treating people well is, I think, at the core of who you are. What motivates you to connect operational excellence with social justice?
I think as an organisation, we're a recognised service partner, and it's been part of our mantra to make sure that we support people all the way through. So that, as an organisation, is really important to us. I was asked to support with the Living Wage Group via the IWFM because of the work that I was doing with them at the time. And
break down the acronyms for
the Institute of Workplace and Facilities Management, so the governing body around FM as a whole. So I was the London chair in the London region, and through that they asked me to come and support the Living Wage Foundation with making London a living wage city. And from my side, it was more about beating the drum and trying to tell as many people as possible what the base is and what the difference it makes to people, from what seems sometimes a small amount of money per hour, but the big difference that it can make for the individual. And it is all about the individual at that stage. It's not, but at the same time, we're talking about corporate entities. And from a larger scale, the difference might seem pence at one stage, but on a larger scale, it can be quite a lot of money. But the benefits around it is supporting those individuals and making sure that they have what is a fair, the right wage.
Can you potentially share any stories of colleagues for whom this has impacted? What's it really meaning on the ground?
On the ground, it's probably a little bit more difficult because I'm not so much on the cold face, but I can tell you about clients that we've, without mentioning their names, that we have had where they were paying lower rates, with over a period of a couple of years, taken them steps to move forward so that they then have got to the real living wage on a national basis. So that's a good story to have, that we've over a period of time sort of spoke to them about the difference it makes about retention, the difference it makes about the individuals, and they've reaped the rewards of that they have retained their staff on a longer basis, and the guys are doing a great job around there. So initially they saw it as the cost elements, but from our side we were talking about, one, the right thing to do, but two, the benefit that it makes to the individuals. And they've now seen the benefit because of the performance, and the attendance has improved because of it as well. And from a recruitment point of view, if you're competing with someone that's paying a minimum wage compared to someone who's paying a real living wage, it's the natural thing that you're going to try and get that higher rate, and that's the rate everybody should be on. But I suppose that the big difference has been over the last few years that differential rate between what was the minimum wage and the real living wage has reduced, which probably I like to think is been the pressure from the real living wage against the minimum wage to make sure that they increase that pay further to make it so that's a reverse win.
I think we heard at the recent parliamentary breakfast hosted by the Living Wage and the current Minister for Business that there was an indication in his speech that the campaign, the foundation, has pushed the government into along or encouraged. It's in part of their narrative that has helped them define some of the national living wage conversations that they're having. So, well worth it. But I just want to wrap backwards because essentially what you're saying is that, again, counterintuitively, that paying your people more, far from breaking your company, may actually enable your company to thrive because things like retention increase. And we all know the headache of trying to recruit good people. Things like, I guess, sickness and absenteeism decrease because people are in a workplace where they want to be, where they feel valued and appreciated, and their desire, their work ethic improves because they want to be part of something where they're cared for and appreciated. So again, to business owners out there, it may feel counterintuitive. It may feel like your bottom line is going to break because you're paying people well, but actually the benefits, and there are business case benefits, cost benefits that can outweigh that expense.
Yeah, definitely. I think business leaders and depending on obviously who's picking this up, it is all about the people, and if the people feel comfortable and where they're at, then then they will feel that they will feel supported, and that's that's what we all want at the end of the day, isn't it?
Absolutely. No one goes to work to freight out 8 to 10 hours of their day to be treated badly. It's a big chunk of our life. So what practical steps would you recommend for a values-driven company that wants to grow ethically?
I missed what you said at the very beginning then.
So what practical steps could you recommend for like a company like ours, a value-driven cleaning company that wants to grow ethically without compromising their standards? So things like pay would be right up there. In my mind, growing just equals compromise.
I don't think growing and compromise are the two things. I think that you should stand proud in what it is that you do and what it is that you stand for. So if a client is trying to reduce your costs, and because of that, are they the right client for you? Are they the partnership that you want? Now, I appreciate, obviously, at the end of the day, sometimes there's a case that you need to turn over to develop. Yeah, I appreciate that. But at the same time, you've got to stand strong in your values and your beliefs in what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to achieve. And so we appreciate in today's society, it is a financially driven industry. The world of COVID, where everybody was pleased to see cleaners, has unfortunately soon become forgotten, and those purse strings are tightening again. So we are having to be probably a little bit more creative on how we work, but I don't believe that should be at your honour or your the concept of what it is that you are looking to achieve. So I would stand strong in your belief, and the right clients will work for you for the right reasons.
Absolutely. We've walked away from clients that would have very healthily padded out our bottom line, but the compromise at the end of the day isn't worth it. And without your people, you're nothing.
Yeah.
So it's always worth remembering that and holding that front and center. We're coming into the home straight, Gary. What would you say has been your greatest leadership challenge to date?
The challenge has been the success as well in the people. I think always, as I said at the beginning, I'm very team orientated. So getting a team to work together because of you have a greater unity and strength of people working all in the same goal. So the challenge to always get a team working and a team working in harmony is possibly your greatest challenge. But then seeing those teams develop and seeing those teams create success is what challenges you in the first place. So creating a team, developing a team, and then watching those individuals and seeing individuals grow is the challenge that drives me.
Oh, I can't echo that enough. I think one of the things that nearly broke my business was not understanding how to manage a team of very different characters, and I had to learn the hard way. So I agree with that. That's brilliant. Thank you. Maybe I'll be knocking on your door, Gary.
I think it is. I love sport as a whole. Yeah. Okay. And so my analogies always will fall back to sports. And you can't have the same style player in every position. And whilst you can have a certain level of skill and development, you need people with ability to understand the game in different positions. Yeah. So from my side, my analogy will always fall to make a quality team. You get the team working in with the same vision, then you'll get a far greater strength and a far greater result. And having one superstar doesn't lead to success.
Yes. And do you know what, Gary? That was my exact lesson. I don't know if you know this about me, but I was a PE teacher before all of this.
Okay.
And at the end of that disastrous team experience, I sat down and realized, oh, this is just like building my netball team. Oh, I know how to do that. And so it created a whole different result and way of being and leading and inspiring, following out from that. But I hadn't married the two things together. This is just like building a netball team. And I always said that you can't have a superstar. You're as strong as your weakest link. I actually don't like that phrase, but there is something in that, and that everyone has a part to play. And that we've got to respect the roles. So yeah.
And leadership is all about having good people around you, because of to quote or to think about Virgin Atlantic.
Yeah.
Richard can't fly a plane, but he's got all the people around him that can. So that's the mentality I sort of would look at.
Love it. What would Richard Branson do? WWRB. Moving on. 2 questions left. What do you love about what you do?
I think there's 2 things. Obviously, I'm a little bit of a buildings geek, so the places and the locations that I've been to because of my job over the years has been fantastic. From graded buildings to the top of skyscrapers. So yeah, I've had the opportunity of being and viewing some fantastic locations. So, and then some brand new buildings and seeing them develop over the years as well. So that's my geeky side. That I do like that side, and that still excites me. But it is very core. It's the people as well. Don't get me wrong, there's always challenges. I'm not saying it's a bed of roses, and some of our colleagues and some of our clients have are there to test us at times, but then that is work. And at the end of the day, that's kind of a mantra I have as well. It is a job and it's work, and try not to take it personally, because of at the end of the day, they're doing their job, and even down to your clients trying to reduce their costs. That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to save their business, but it's how you actually work it together to save yours at the same time.
Nice. So this next question is from our previous guest, Lauren Daly from The Tree. She's developed a brand of eco-friendly products, not just eco-friendly, hormone-friendly, aquatic safe. It's amazing.
You have to tell me more about her after.
Yeah, great woman. Her question for you, Gary, is what's the weirdest thing you love deep cleaning? I mean, do you even love deep cleaning anything? Hers was a gunky shower. Mine is an oven.
You and I then. Yeah, I'm partial to making sure our oven is clean. So it sometimes slips past a period of time, but yeah, I do like to make sure that our oven is clean. So yeah, that's I even sadly have had to go to my mother-in-law's and do hers as well. So yeah, a few brownie points there, but
brilliant, Gary. This has been a really great, insightful conversation. Thank you.
That's okay.
Deeply inspired by the work of Churchill Group, and also you as an individual, and the thread of justice and people that has kind of woven through your career. It's really impressive. So thank you for your time.
That's right, no worries. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great. All right, we're signing off. My next guest is a lady called Janet Nash, who is training people on oh my goodness, my brain is gone. My brain's gone empty. Welcome to middle age. Biohazard, that's it. Biohazard cleaning. So looking forward to her sometime in July, I think 24th of July. So do listen in. That's for anyone listening to this clip, and even for you, Gary. She's got a lot to offer and say, and it'll be a good one. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, have a great Friday and enjoy the sunshine.
Bye.
Bye.